on Hangouts. There we go. We're live now.
Oh, it covered it up. I just saw that Jeffrey joined, so good timing. We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. This is episode 171. The crawl up towards 200 is continuing. So I want to say hello to everyone watching, first of all, and let's do a quick run-through. We've got a special guest today along with the full crew. So, Chris, how's things going with you? Chris, you muted? Or?
Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, now it's working. All right. Yeah, good to be here, guys. Doing good here. Still in Austria. And yeah, excited webinar today.
All right, Renan, what's up with you?
Hey, really excited for what's coming today. I'm really excited for the announcements that we're having. And yeah, overall excited to be here.
Well, deal. All right, Jeffrey's next on my screen. How you doing, man? Are you getting set up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little loud,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll turn it down, man. Yeah, basically just trying to get the camera set up, man. I have a history with Google Plus, so I'm taking deep breaths.
Don't we know it, Jeffrey?
I know, man. I'm a little. All right. No comment. But yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead and get set up. We're gonna run through a little bit of an intro and some notes, and then we'll get started.
Okay. Cool.
Marco, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Cold last night.
It's
really cold.
59?
59. I had to put on a shirt.
This is, everybody knows this is the world's smallest violin playing. Awesome. Well, Bradley, how you doing, man?
I am happy to be here. I'm excited. We got a Syndication Academy update webinar immediately following Hump Day Hangouts today. And I got something really powerful that I'm going to be sharing that I'm sure Marco would be pissed if he knew what I was sharing, but it's something that I'm going to be sharing with the Syndication Academy members that is similar to something that I shared recently in the mastermind, but it's slightly different. So those people that are in the mastermind, when they see what I'm going to be sharing today, they can combine that with what I shared in the mastermind, and it's incredibly powerful. I've been testing it. So I'm kind of excited to talk about that, but first, we got to get through Hump Day Hangouts. So
we do. But also, I wanted Bradley, while you're still on the camera, if you want to tell people what we're doing and what we've got going on with the local PR Pro, we just got ready for some early access. So do you want to tell people a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah. So you guys, I've been talking about releasing a press release course for months, but I needed to do a lot of testing, and I needed to make sure that everything worked long term, so to speak. And I've had several other people help me with testing as well for using press releases for local ranking. And it works incredibly well. There's obviously some nuances that have to be taken into consideration, but we've been able to repeat it over and over and over again, get three-pack maps ranking results with just using press releases, and different strategies too. And so we're going to be covering all of that in the upcoming course. This is going to be different than any other kind of course that we released, in that we're going to be recording it live. In other words, you can get in early, like on a pre-purchase or pre-sale, and there will be a members area, just like all our other members areas, where we'll host the archives, the webinar replay and such. And there will be some training in there initially, because I've gotten some like written procedures and notes and all kinds of stuff that I'm going to be adding. But we're going to be recording the actual training via 2, maybe 3 webinars. It'll be 2 for sure, but maybe 3. The third one, if we need it for like Q&A and implementation and stuff like that. So, but we're going to be selling it on a very steep discount on the front end pre-sale. And then obviously once we have the recordings put into the membership area after the training's been recorded, then we'll, sell it at a normal price. But I highly encourage you guys, any of you guys doing local, if you're not already using press releases and seeing awesome results, or if you've tried using press releases before and you haven't, for local, and you haven't been able to get the results that you hear me talk about a lot, and so many others as well, then I highly recommend you pick up the course, because it's super, super powerful, and it works, damn near every time. So
good deal. And I've got to hop in there and say, we were just telling the mastermind members that, of course, they get access for free as part of the mastermind. And so that's definitely one of the perks. So if the mastermind members are watching, you're getting access. We're going to hook you up shortly. But also, if you're interested in joining the mastermind, we'll pop a link on the page. So real quick, while I'm doing that, Bradley or Marco, you want to give Jeffrey and Tony a solid introduction here while I'm doing that, so maybe the very few people who are here and don't know much about them get to know them.
Sure, I'll do it. Jeffrey and Tony are on with us today, guys. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Enough said. I mean,
We've been hanging out with you long enough.
You guys, if you've been watching Hump Day Hangouts at all for the last several months, you know that we've been talking about Jeffrey Smith's SEO Bootcamp training as being about the best on-page SEO course that I've ever seen. I stand by that statement still, and it's amazing, and we're honored to have Jeffrey on. He's become a friend of ours here at Semantic Mastery, and you know, it's good to have people in high places.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay.
And that's it. That's it. Appreciate it.
Just putting stuff on the page. Well, let's get into it. Unless I'm missing some announcements, do you guys have anything else?
I'm good.
All right, let's get rolling.
Okay, let me work my screen magic here for a moment. Try to get picture-in-picture thing going. Okay, is that freaking everybody out yet?
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, we got the Inception effect going on.
Go. Right. All right. Is it normalized now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Jeffrey and Tony, we're honored to have you here for real. So you guys, please feel free to interrupt me. I tend to ramble a bit, so feel free at any time to interrupt me. I will not be offended, I promise.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
All right, let me move up. That's awfully big, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. All right, Jeff's up first. He says, BB and crew, new client, brand new website, starting from scratch, wedding venue niche. Am just finishing on-site, titles, metas, headers, alt tags, content, etc. Looking ahead to off-site, I know that the following will be part of the mix: Google Drive Stack, Syndication Network, and press releases. Is there a specific order you prefer to create these in? And if so, what's your preferred order and why? And I do have a preferred order. I believe it's outlined in the battle plan also, Jeff, but yeah, I'll certainly cover it here for you as well. Let me just finish reading your question. I'm sure you've gone over this stuff in the past since this is something that occurs on a regular basis. Yes. So if this has been answered on another Hump Day Hangout, just point me in the right direction. No, it's okay. I'll run through it. It's fairly simple, easy process. I always start with the syndication network. Like I have that typically being built while I'm working on the site. So that way, once the site is done, you know, because it takes a few weeks for the syndication network to get completed. Then when I'm done with the site, the syndication network's typically done by that point, and we can start to post the seed or the initial articles out. The posts get syndicated out. And I usually do 3 to 5 posts for any new website launch. So, and I'll drip those out. It depends on the industry, you know, how slow I'll drip them out or how quickly, really. But I always do a minimum of 3, but often 5 posts, curated posts, which I just have one of my VAs do. And that way I start to seed the network. And then once I start dripping the posts out is when I usually order the drive stack, because that takes a couple weeks to get back. And so by the time that at least 2 or 3 posts, maybe even all 5 have been posted to the network, the drive stack is now completed. At which time I also, if it's for local, which it is in your case, I always order citations around the same time that I order the drive stack, so that all of that's being built while I'm still kind of seeding the network with content. Then last but not least, press releases. You know, I do that typically one press release when the site is first launched or goes live. But recently I've been waiting until the drive stack's done to launch or publish the first press release, because I typically link to one of the drive stack properties, whether it's the Google site or one of the folders or whatever. But then from that point forward, recently I've been doing a lot of press release stuff. So I usually do about 1 press release every 2 weeks for a new property, until I get it in the 3-pack, which sometimes happens in just 2 press releases. Sometimes it takes, you know, 5 or 6, but I typically get it. That's usually the same timeline that I follow every single time. So just to recap, and then I'm happy to hear some other people's opinions as well. Start with the syndication network while the site's being built. So when the syndication network is completed, typically the site's done by then. I have some seed posts curated and ready to be dripped out to the blog. As soon as I start dripping those out, I'll order the drive stack and citations also at the same time. And then once I get the drive stack back and the citations back, typically all my seed posts have been posted or published. And from that point forward, I do a press release about every 2 weeks until I get into the 3-pack. Anybody want to comment on that?
I think you're solid, man. That's absolutely solid. The thing you have to watch out for in the beginning too is just not to hit things too hard too fast, because then you create a velocity that's you have to sort of mimic and continue to ramp up from. So as long as you're dripping things like that in a very gradual fashion, it should work just fine.
Yep. Your audio's popping, by the way. Your mic is popping, Jeffrey.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I'll map it out here.
Okay, no worries. But yeah,
if I can add something,
go ahead.
Just real quick. All of our Hump Day Hangout videos are timestamped for those who are new. So if you don't want to wait, like if you don't want to wait until Wednesday to see if your question has been answered, you can just go to the channel, youtube.com/semantic mastery, and just do a channel search, and you'll come up. If you post the right question, you'll come up with the answer.
Yep. Last thing I wanted to mention is I agree with Jeffrey 100% about the timing, so velocity. In other words, you don't want to come out of the gate swinging with everything all at once, because then you have to pretty much maintain that level of link building and all that, and it's too much. And so for newer sites, that's why I like to do that exact process that I just laid out, guys, in that specific order, because it's kind of a slow ramp up. And then once I hit it with the press releases, it gets a flood of inbound links, but that's natural because it's a press release. So you know, and again, then I just continue citation building, publishing on the blog, and then now I publish press releases regularly too until I get the desired results, and then I kind of scale back a bit once I get there. So, okay, Brad's up. He says, new SEO and web design, trying to get started while unemployed. Okay. Working from point of desperation as no money coming in. I've advertised my writing and basic web design services in freelance places and in groups to other SEOs, and working on cold emails. Someone who's successful. Oh, by the way, I didn't mean to jump. I forgot that he asked about the press release training. I think that's ready for us to, like, people to go purchase today, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah, I just put the link on there. Yeah, 50% off applies. You can go and get access today. So.
Yeah, sorry about that. I jumped from one question to another, guys, but it just dawned on me that I missed it. Okay, someone who's successful that uses some of your training said, I should also just focus on web design as it's an easier, cheaper sale as a foot in the door. I haven't had time to build a business plan because I've been scraping and emailing, trying to get customers, about ready to lose apartment, and I have wife and kids. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Any advice on what else I could do to speed things up would be appreciated, please, and thank you. Sorry for the drama in the novel.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
Bradley, I think this is what you're going to say, and I just have to, because it immediately came to mind, was stop trying to sell to other SEOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, well, because other SEOs are going to nickel and dime you to death, Brad. So I would recommend that you try to go direct to customers, so like business owners, really. So, you know, that's something that if web design is your thing, then you don't have a learning curve with that. Then yeah, that's what I would go with if you need money fast. Obviously, I wouldn't say start selling SEO services and you got to learn how to do it first. You know, that wouldn't make any sense. So something you might want to do though, and because like I don't design websites. I use WordPress templates that I just, you know, swap out images and stuff. But you know what, when I was selling a lot of websites to local businesses, typically I'll just sell like a new site when I take on a customer for SEO, unless they've got a decent site, which most of the time they don't. But what I found, and again, I'm anxious to hear what some of you guys have to say, but depending on who your type of customer is, I typically deal with contractors and smaller type, like mom and pop contractor companies. So what worked for me was coming up with like a website template that I could just sell in mass for a very inexpensive price, for like $500 or even sometimes less, because it was just a template, and it would be like a 3 or maybe a 5-page site that would have standard pages, you know, outside of the standard pages like home, contact, about, privacy, and terms. But then it would have like maybe 3 optimized keyword or service pages. And I would sell that for like $500. And that was more or less like a foot in the door strategy, and something you need to do more volume of, but it's something that you can get customers, at least through my experience, I was able to get customers much quicker than doing like full on custom website proposals where, you know, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 website design. You certainly make more money that way with the custom stuff. At least you can make more money. But I found the templated type of like, just like almost like an assembly line, You just start mass emailing out. You'll get some takers, and you can sell them on an inexpensive website just to get them started. And then you can always upsell them on additional services like SEO or PPC or anything like that. So that's something I would suggest doing. Like Adam said, stop talking to SEOs, go direct to the consumer, in this case, which would be a business owner, and try to sell. Also, I would highly recommend that you zero in or kind of narrow down to a specific industry type, so that when you do create that particular template, if that's the route you're going to go, you already know the keywords, you know the pain points for those business owners. You will have already done the research, so you can just duplicate in various cities, in other words, and that way you're not having to do research over again and learn new the pain points for each industry type and all that kind of stuff. So niche down, and then just try to generate some sales in a particular niche by just, in my opinion, going cheap on the front end. If you need money quick, sell your higher price stuff later on once you've got some revenue coming in. That's my opinion.
Something else, and Bradley, you may have touched on this too, but with the timing situation, now's a good time when your back's against the wall. It's a tough situation to be in, but now's the time to build those sales skills and get out there and go door to door instead of scraping and emailing. That's a long-term plan, and doing something like the video lead gen system is great. And if you can do it targeted, that's going to help. But those systems take time, and if you're talking about the next month or two, you need to get a client, right, or build some clients. Then it's going to work a lot better, and you're going to build trust faster if you get out there. Maybe go to some business group meetings, start talking to people about how you can help them and find out and provide that service. And that that's gonna it's tougher. I know a lot of people don't like doing face-to-face, but it works, and it helps you build trust fast.
Another thing is also, I know that money's an issue, but you can basically create templates on ClickFunnels. You can actually create your own funnel and then add that as an add-on to somebody. You can actually embed your affiliate link. In order for them to actually use ClickFunnels, they have to pay $97 a month. I think they give you a third of that. So if you created a really nice 2 or 3 step funnel that you could bolt on to a very narrow niche market, that could be a way that you can get started and say, hey, look, I know you have a website, but you can use this to actually start generating leads. And that way it's more of a bolt-on service. And basically by the time you get 4, 5, 6 people to use your funnel, there's a way to generate some revenue.
That's excellent advice. Totally agree with you. And I forgot about that. Adam and I talked about this last year when we were down at the ClickFunnels Funnel Hacking Live event. But that's absolutely true, because you could even create like a lead gen funnel for a specific industry, and then give that away. Like he just said, just totally email and say, look, here's a landing page, an opt-in funnel, a lead gen funnel, whatever you want to call it. I'm giving it to you for free. And then they basically go sign up for ClickFunnels so that they can use it. And then you get $35, $40 per month off of that. And you can sell a shit ton of those,
Yeah, I have one more option for Brad in case none of those fit. This goes along with what Adam said, is get out into your local neighborhood, visit the folks that are on Main Street, and instead of if you're worried at all about having to actually deliver the services, just sell some of the semantic mastery packages to local folks to help their their local listing. Find somebody that has a listing, it's not ranking in the pack, and say, hey, I'll do a 3-month deal with you, $250 a month, and then just buy an RYS stack or one of the other things that are known to show some. And that way you don't have to worry about doing the actual work. You can go out and sell and make money.
It's arbitrage, and that works well too. Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys, your mic's still popping a little bit. I don't know, it's a bit sensitive or something. So
not too bad. It's not like it's popping loud or anything. It's just a little grainy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay, I'll look into it real quick.
No worries. Sam's up. What's up, Sam? He says, I'm using virtual silo structure for an affiliate site. One of the silo categories is probably not relevant to the overall theme of the site, and it also gets very little traffic. So I'm considering removing it altogether to keep my site more focused. My question is, since I published a few curated posts in the category and syndicated them with IFTTT, if I remove those posts, could I potentially lose ranking factors for my site pages in other categories? If so, how would you suggest mitigating that? Thanks a lot. You could, but it's unlikely. I know Jeffrey probably speak thoroughly on this, but if the keyword or the category itself wasn't all that relevant to the rest of the theme of your site, then it's probably unlikely that it's going to cause much of an issue by removing those. But remember, you can always just go redirect those URLs. Just use the simple 301 redirects plugin I'm assuming it's WordPress site, and then just redirect the page URLs or post URLs, category URLs, anything that was associated with that category that you're going to remove. Just redirect those to something else on the site. You know, maybe put up a standalone page or something like that that discusses briefly what it was that you were talking about in that other category or something like that. But it could just be, you know, it doesn't have to be like in the silo structure or anything like that. But you can still recapture or recycle, I guess, the inbound links from those posts. Even if you delete those posts, you just have to redirect them. So
yeah, definitely.
And Jeffrey, I'm assuming you would say if it's not real relevant to the overall theme of the site, remove it, right?
Yeah, and the redirect works. I mean, honestly, if it's not getting traffic anyway, you just want to go as broad as you can as far as capturing all of the conversation, but you don't necessarily have to continue to create new categories. You can just add more vertical depth in that category. So, but yeah, I agree. I concur.
Okay, cool. Paul's up. What's up, Paul? He says, Marco, on a previous mastermind, you mentioned about using Amazon S3 HTML pages to pass juice to our target money sites where you block the other bots except for Googlebot. Can you provide a guide or outline on how to achieve this? Oh, so you're looking for the bot blocking script. I think that's what he's asking for.
No, I already answered the bot blocking in the mastermind. What he's talking about, and I'm glad that Jeffrey and Tony are here, is copying, right, the G site or embedding the drive stack into an S3 HTML page so that you can pass juice over to the target of money site. That's what they call the subwoofer method, if I'm not mistaken. They'll use a subdomain and they'll use S3. Well, we use S3 also. And you know, I gave him that, but if I don't know how much you want to give away, Jeffrey, I'm putting you on the spot. But can you kind of elaborate? Just give us the 10,000 foot overview of the subwoofer method.
Yeah. Well, the subwoofer method, the S3 does work with the subwoofer method. It's a little bit broader than I think the question you're asking about the S3 in order to pass power and theme, you know, to your money site as a way kind of to buffer and to wash any aggressive link building, whether that's through, you know, a drive stack or otherwise. You know, one of the things that we did is we created an in-depth article on a subdomain and then do a single link that goes out, and you can pass it either directly to the silo or category page on the money site, or again, you could pass that to an S3 page, which gets not only the theme from everything behind that the subwoofer, the RYS stack and everything that's pointing to that domain through the link, but also we do a rel canonical to that S3 page. So the S3 page really, it's carrying a lot of authority, and it has the ability to, again, to clean the aggressive link building, or to, you know, kind of purify all of that power, whatever you're doing, and pass it on safely to the money site, either with a link or, again, with an exact match or an exact duplicate of the article on the money site on the S3, no links, but a rel canonical to that page. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. It is really powerful. I've seen some tests with no results and some tests with outstanding results. So you have to kind of experiment with it, but there's a lot of things you can do with the S3, and I do use it.
Yeah, and you can also use the iframes. You know, I've been doing a lot of that stuff with just using iframes and passing juice that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Our method is.
We've got a terrible echo, guys. Where's it coming from?
It has to be Jeffrey. I'm going to mute it.
Oops. Okay.
So, our recommended method is that you go in and do the embeds so that you don't run into trouble. Embeds are iframes. So you embed the drive stacks. You embed everything into the S3. It's an exact copy of what the G site is. And then the iframes will pass the juice through without letting any bad stuff through. Iframes are awesome. People don't know enough about them. People don't use them enough. Think about it. If Google were to penalize an iframe, they would have to penalize YouTube. Think about it.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you for that. By the way, guys, the Syndication Academy update webinar, we're going to be talking about something very similar to what we're this past question. So again, if you're in Syndication Academy, I highly encourage you to be there for that webinar. It's going to be in 35 minutes. Keith is up. What's up, Keith? He says, hey guys, have a client with 10 brands in one niche. Okay, each with its own site. Client wants to reorganize, so we need to move all the old brand site to a subfolder. All the old brand sites to a subfolder on a new domain. New domain.com/old site 1, new domain.com/old site 2, etc. Would a 301 at the domain level on each of the old sites be enough to keep the organic search traffic flowing and protect the current Google SERP rankings? Well, only one page at a time. Like a 30. Now, let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying if you just do a redirect, like if you create the subfolders and put the old sites in there to where now it'll be like it's going to look like a page on the site essentially, right? A redirect to that would just be to whatever the home page is what I'm, unless you're doing like redirects from on a page by page basis, in which case there it's likely that you will see some dancing because that typically happens. But if the sites were all like, if you're doing shit, I'm not even sure because if you redirected the old domains to the new ones, yeah, it should work. It should. I mean, you might see you will obviously you will see some dancing initially when that happens, but everything should come back. If basically you're just cloning the sites, putting them into the subfolder on the new domain, and then redirecting all the old URLs to the new ones, I don't see it causing any problems other than an initial dance. But you know, stranger things have happened. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's what I was testing. Also, hopefully that echo's gone. Did it go away now?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay, cool. I turned on my audio. So yeah, I was going to say if you're going to do a one-to-one, you know, page to page from old site to new site, that would be the best. But if you're going to, like you suggested, you're just going to redirect the exact same domains and just put them in a different place, then redirects work fine. Simple 301 should suffice.
Yep. Yeah, and you'll see some initial dancing. Now that always occurs, but you know, if it's just basically just moving it from one to another and then redirecting all the old domains on a page by page 1-to-1 ratio, then you shouldn't really have any much issues. It should settle back to where it was or damn close to where it was afterwards. So would a 301 at the domain level each of the old sites be enough to keep the organic tracking? At the domain level, I don't know. On a page by page level, yes. But I think you can. I know you can. I always have to have somebody do it for me, but you can accomplish that with like a wildcard redirect and HT access, I believe. But again, I always have to have somebody code that for me. I can never do it. So, okay. So that looks pretty good. Keith is up again. He says, being greedy here. Second question, in a silo structure, do you recommend a silo menu in the sidebar or just use internal linking in the pages? It's entirely up to you. I like having a silo menu in the sidebar. I know Jeffrey SEO Design Solutions or SEO Design Framework that does that, as well as your plugin. Does it do that as well?
The new one that we have coming out will have the silo functionality. So
in the plugin. Awesome.
Yep. So that way you'll be able to use it on any theme that you want. So,
awesome.
But yeah, I also concur that the sidebar menu is good for feeding the silo as long as you don't overdo the keywords and the titles. That's the main thing. You don't want to stuff a bunch of keywords in the sidebar. So you should have the ability to tone down the keywords and the titles in your sidebar, but it's just going to continue to feed the category and the silo that it's in versus using just a contextual link. Very good.
Let's see. Do you recommend just one link in the silo page to the next silo page, or would you link to the silo head also be advisable? What do you advise reference inclusion or not in the sitemap for silo pages? Okay. The way that I've always done silos, guys, and we've got like the master on here about that, so I'm curious, but what he has to say. But typically, if it's in the same silo, if it's a natural occurrence that, you know, you can, there's a linking opportunity from one article to another, whether it's a supporting post, it could be, you know, a sibling post, it could be a child post. In other words, it could be, you know, like another subcat. As long as it's all in the same silo, if it occurs naturally, I just link to it. Like, I don't force links unless, you know, I'm trying to do something specific. But if there's a mention of another page or post within that same silo that's relevant, then I absolutely will link to it. And then I'll link back up to the silo heading. It just depends. As long as there's internal linking going throughout the entire silo, as far as through my testing, it works fine. You know, again, sometimes I don't force another a particular link from one post to another unless I'm trying to accomplish something specific. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that it's all about referential integrity. And so the one thing that you want to do is make sure that you don't, there's two questions that he asked here. I just want to sort of specify that. He's just suggesting, do you recommend just one link to the silo page and the next silo page? Well, first of all, you'd never link over to the next silo. You want to use your main navigation to do that. And the reason you do that is that there's something that's called a visual page segmentation algorithm that looks at different portions of the page with more weight. So for example, your navigation, your gutters and sidebars and your footer are considerably less weight and pass less link flow than your contextual primary body text area. So contextual links carry a lot more weight than navigation links. And so if you use a contextual link from one silo to the next, you would essentially be bleeding that. Right. So in your main navigation, you're okay to do that, but you would just use that in your main navigation. It's another topic. It's normal for usability that you would have different topics in your site to transfer, to go, to have a person go from one place to the other. So on that first one, don't link across silos contextually. And then the second one, you're asking, would a link to the silo head also be advisable? We always want to link up to your silo head from your categories and your content. And to reference Bradley's point, if you wanted to have, if there's a page in your sibling pages that you want to give a little more weight to, it's okay to internally link for that, because everything that you do in those child supporting articles are going to help the category in the silo rank.
Yep. Network Empire called that buoyancy.
Yes. Yeah.
Buoyancy.
Yep.
Yep.
It really works. Everything's going to.
Yeah, absolutely. And just Keith, I think there's a little bit of an interpretation issue with your question. Just to be clear, if you're talking about linking from one page within a silo to another page within the same silo or another post within the same silo, that's fine. But what Jeffrey said is absolutely correct, which is not to link from one silo to another. I do it occasionally for navigational purposes for user experience, but I do it with a no follow link if I'm going to do it. Does that make sense? So, okay. Next is Scott. What's up, Scott? He says, well, I guess that's not really a question, so I'll move on. Jenny's up. What's up, Jenny? It says, happy Valentine's Day, crazy semantics. I love you. Aw. Got another client a few days ago. Awesome, Jenny. Congratulations. They are on home improvement repair niche. They provide services in 5 nearby cities and offer 4 services that are related to each other: painting, pressure washing, just examples, doing complete fresh build out. I am closely following Jeffrey's site architecture. See, we planted this question for you, Jeffrey.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it.
Using SEO design framework and the SEO Ultimate Plus plugin. By the way, recommend SEO Bootcamp to anybody. I agree. What would be the best way to set up their site? How would I structure it to rank for each service in different cities? Seems like having too many landing pages, each service in each city, wouldn't be the way to go. Potentially looking to set up multi-location businesses on Gmaps. Semantics, any thoughts? Jeffrey, I love you, bro.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you guys go first on this one, because this is really your alley here. I'm gonna stay in my lane as far as the local stuff, because I really haven't done that much local lately. So I'll ruminate while you elaborate.
So I used to always do a separate landing page for each service on the sites, but I've kind of gotten away from doing that as much anymore, to where I've done more or less recently, and I've had some mixed results with it, though. In some cases, I've had really good success. In other cases, it's been more difficult than I had planned. But to set up service pages and in location pages, like, in other words, because like you said, if they've got 4 services and they're going to do 5 cities, then they'd have to duplicate those 4 service pages for each city, optimize that way, right? So you'd end up with 20 pages on the site that are about the same 4 services. The only thing different about those pages would be basically the local modifier. And so, again, I kind of got away from doing that, because the sites start to get bloated with too many, especially when you've got a company that offers a bunch of services, or they cover a large geographic area. Then you end up with a ton of just duplicate pages, basically. And I don't like duplicate content on the same domain. So typically what I've been doing more recently is I create service-based pages where it explains what the services are. And I know this isn't true silo structure, but I put a you know, we provide these services in the following locations, basically like a bullet menu, somewhere within the content of that service page that then links over to the individual location pages that talks about all the services that they serve from that, or that they provide from that one location. So it is basically cross-linking between silos the way that but I basically, like, I have a location silo and then I have a services silo. And I found that in some cases that works really well. In other cases it doesn't work as well, but I find it to be more logical in explaining it to the customer, the client, and also just in managing the site. So that's what I would suggest doing, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I think that's a great solution, honestly, because when you're using services and you're building those out as your like 2,000 word article, you can really go in depth. It gives you opportunity to answer questions in there as well and really devour things. And as long as you have those shingles, those groups of words that are referring to the different cities that you're in, and you're building out city pages for those, and if you have different essentially Google My Business, or at least if you're setting up each page individually, if you have postcards verifying that GMB for that different city, it's going to work well. Those are like your mini silos, but it's the services itself that's really going to get the ranking, and they're going to know where you're searching from anyway, because they're going to be targeting you using Awesome. So they're going to know where you're typing in that search from. And if your site has enough topical weight from those service pages being deep, then you're going to get that ranking.
I think the key would be getting the Google My Business listing in every location, and then linking as the URL from each of those to the city page on the website, on the money site. So the city 1 GMB links to the city page on the money site, and then each one of those city pages, just like you were saying, Bradley, links out to the individual services, which should be an in-depth article for that service, and that should rank those pages in all those places.
Yep. So that's exactly what I was saying. Like, so the service pages are basically like in depth and discusses all the services, and then or specifically one service if they want to, you know, silo the services. But then somewhere, like, let's say this guy says five cities, it would be like a bullet list or a little menu or something that would state, we provide this service in these 5 locations, and then those link out to those individual location pages. Each location page might be a standalone page that lists all 4 services, right? But there'd be like a paragraph about each service or whatever, but that's the relevancy is coming from the actual service page, and it's just referencing. So it's almost like a reciprocal link between location and service silos, but it tends to work, and I just find it more logical and easier to manage. So,
Absolutely.
Cool. Winner. I got that one right. All right. All right, cool. Let's see what's next. Mohammed's up. He says, "Hey guys, I'm close to getting meetings. I'm close to getting meetings for my video emails." I know he's been working at this hard. Mohammed has been. He's in our mastermind, and he's been working at the video lead gen email system for several weeks now. So he's honing it to specifically his own business guys, and that's awesome. That's what persistence will do for you. He's definitely going to do well, I can tell. Hey guys, I'm close to getting meetings for my video emails. The prospects aren't really cold no more, and they're already advertising. I asked an SEO close to me who focuses on a different niche, and he said that with his clients, he starts his first 3 months half off, and the rest are full price. Okay. Do you think this is worth trying? I was considering it, but when I say he's an SEO, I mean SEO because he doesn't know about syndication, drive stacks, or anything, so his costs are lower. You know, I mean, you could try it, Mohammed. You can try. You can test different sort of offers and things like that. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday actually about you know, video SEO stuff, because I do a lot of video SEO stuff as just a front end service, guys. I know some people create their entire livelihoods or businesses from video SEO. That's great. I don't. I use it just to get my foot in the door, and then I upsell them on other services, Maps SEO, PR services, reputation, all that other stuff. And so when I do a lot of testing with, or I make a lot of offers with, like doing video spam campaigns essentially for prospects up front, and don't even charge them for it. A lot of the times it's just to get my foot in the door, to get the conversation going, to prove to them that I know what the hell I'm doing. And then once I've earned some trust, then I can introduce, you know, higher price services or priced services to begin with, if that's the case. And I've had really good success with that. And so it works for me. And I know some people say that's blasphemy. Don't give away shit, like, and all that. Do what works for you, Mohammed. You know, and that's something maybe worth testing, is trying it and see. What I would do is I wouldn't like go like full on that I'm going to create my marketing campaign around this offer until you've tested it a few times to see, is it something that's sustainable? Like, can you provide decent service for half price for 3 months, get results, and then upsell them or lock them into a, you know, a higher price contract or whatever monthly fee at that point? Try it first, test it, see if it's a viable option for your business before like going all in, is what I'm trying to say. So opinions, guys, please.
It's a tough one. We've all been there where, you know, we're trying to close a client, and to me, I never like to undersell myself. I guess I thought too highly of myself, even in the beginning, and so I have never offered a discount. The only time I did it was just recently, just to land this attorney, but it wasn't really like I was offering like a lesser price. What I did is I told him, look, this is what we're going to do. If the results are there, you know, I'm going to provide leads, and then it will be X amount. I'm not going to say the amount because it's ridiculous what she's paying me for actually like 5 minutes worth of work. But yeah, as a foot in the door tactic where you want to show what you could do, I wouldn't go 3 months, because I mean that's the difference between eating and not eating, dude. Yeah. I would say, look, you know, you give me 30 days, and you could even start some Facebook ads, get some quick stuff going in there, and then you raise the price to normal, which is what I did. If I do what I say I'm going to do, then this is going to be the price. And since it was an attorney, I recorded the entire teleconference, because I don't want her saying later on, well, no, that wasn't in the contract or whatever. This is a binding contract because it's on video, it's recorded, you can't get out of it. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you have something that's binding, and that you can lock them in for that higher rate, and that they'll pay that higher rate. That would be my recommendation to you.
Yep. And I agree with Marco. I think 3 months is a bit long. That's a long time to be doing work for half price, because, you know, at the end of what happens if you produce results in 3 months and they decide they don't want you anymore because they already got, you know, they're getting leads and that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. So you know, that's part of the reason I like to do the video spam stuff a lot in the front end, because I can get results within 30 days almost every time. You know, I'll target long tail key. You guys know we poke keywords, find stuff that's easy to rank for, and then that just is to like wow the client. And then once I've wowed the client, then I lock them into whatever, you know. And I don't do monthly I don't do contracts. It's always month to month for my business, because if I'm producing results, they should be happy to pay me. If I'm not, then we should be able to part ways. And so I don't ever do contracts, but typically I'm able to get results within 30 days by doing something like video spam and then showing it to them, and they're like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. And then I end up getting the deal. So, okay. Good question, Mohammed. Nigel's up. What's up, Nigel? He said some nice things, and then he says, thanks for the intro to Soci Blitz or Social Blitz or whatever it is. That's Ab's product. Jeffrey, great boot camp. Looking forward to consult once I understand a bit more. Nigel's been here a lot, Jeffrey, just so you know. He comes every week and asks a lot of questions, so he's awesome. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Can the UltimateSEO plugin completely manage curated content and RSS syndication, or do I need to use in conjunction with the WP RSS plugin or the Semantic Mastery RSS plugin? FYI, site plan is to have a big blog and mashed vlog feed.
Yeah, unfortunately, ours does not do that yet. There's no RSS functionality inside of our plugin at this time. We're looking into something like that, but so you're going to have to use. I would suggest using the Semantic Mastery RSS by all means.
That's an interesting question, and it seems like it was planted again, because we were just discussing how to incorporate the Semantic Mastery RSS plugin into SEO Bootcamp so that we could have both functionalities in it. Yeah. And that's a talk that needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a wide open category, and that's really how you marry the on-off page together. And we just haven't got to that yet. And you guys have mastered that, so definitely it'd be something that we'd like to have a discussion about.
So the next question is recommendations for must-have WordPress plugins. For SEO, obviously the Ultimate SEO plugin, right?
Yep.
Number one. List building and affiliate. Well, I don't do any of the Amazon things, so I can't give you any recommendations. Maybe somebody here can. For list building or affiliate stuff, like for list building, just any sort of good opt-in form or plugin or whatever. Like I've been doing a lot of stuff with Thrive themes recently, and Thrive's got a lot of really good plugins and themes and landing page builders and all that stuff. So Thrive's a good one. But really just find something that you like. Look for some, I try to keep my plugins to an absolute bare minimum on the sites that I build, guys. So like, I have just a handful that I use over and over again, unless I need a plugin for something very specific, in which case I'll do. But since most of the stuff I do is local, I literally use the same stuff over and over again. Maybe that's something we could do as a blog post or something, is kind of like each one of us, what our favorite plugins are or something like that. So maybe we'll make a note of that. Nigel, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any suggestions on like Amazon or for one other thing real quick, affiliate plugins? I'm not sure what you mean by that other than just a good cloaking plugin. Like I use Pretty Links Pro. That's what I use. I've tried a bunch of different like affiliate link cloaking plugins and stuff, and I just always end up resorting back to Pretty Link Pro. Works for me. It's inexpensive. You can buy a developer license for like $100. You can use it on, I think, unlimited sites. So that's what I use. But also, as far as Amazon, I don't ever do any Amazon stuff. So,
hey Bradley, also we have inside of SEO Ultimate Plus, we do have a link masking option.
Oh, you do?
It is inside of there. You can actually use it for two things. You can use it to, when you're linking, anytime you're linking outside of a page, or anytime you have links down at the very bottom, you'll be able to look and see if you want to make that basically a link that is hidden where the bots won't be able to follow it, and you can do redirects with it. So it's actually built into SEO Ultimate Plus. It's been there for years. Tony was going to say something about an RSS plugin.
Oh yeah, RSS Masher for curated content. It's also got a WordPress plugin that seems to work pretty good. It's great for pulling in and blending feeds from authorities in your market. I don't really use it on the money site, but it's great for the second tier for pulling in relevant content and then injecting your links side by side with content from the authorities in the marketplace, so you can take advantage of a little co-citation. So that's a good, that one works better than anything I've used before, honestly. RSS Masher.
We've had Lisa Allen on for I mean, quite 2 or 3 times already. We should have her back.
Rank Feeder.
Yeah,
well, that's Rank.
Yeah, that's Rank
Feeder. Isn't it RSS Masher also?
No, RSS Masher is Damon Nelson's product, and that's good for mashing. RSS Masher is good for mashing content that you're going to be using to distribute to be published. And I've said that many times before, and it's good because you can inject affiliate links, you can inject like into the feed itself, which is awesome. There's basically like a WYSIWYG editor inside the RSS Masher dashboard where you can inject links NAP if you're doing local stuff. You can so basically it's like a citation that you can inject. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. The more powerful SEO tool, however, see, RSS Masher is good for, like I said, for mashing feeds or splicing, blending feeds, and then using that to republish, because it comes out looking nice, and the stuff that you can inject. For co-citation, though, and just using RSSs to create co-citation, and it's incredibly powerful, is Lisa Allen's Rank Feeder. So people have said, well, which one would you use? Both. It depends.
Definitely use that.
Both of them. Absolutely.
I think we jumped from 4 pages to page 1, and we only hit it like once a week. You don't want to overuse it. The Rank Feeder, it's something that you use tactfully, and when you use it for the more broader phrases, it tends to work better than try to go for exact match. But it works really well for co-citation.
Works great. It's a very powerful tool. So it's not pretty. I mean, the feed output is ugly. That's why you wouldn't want to use it to syndicate, like to publish with. That's why RSS Masher is a better, if you're going to be doing content syndication or publishing with blended RSS feeds, RSS Masher is the way to go. But for SEO, Rank Feeder's a better tool. So, but use them both, really. Good, good question, Nigel. All right, next one. James, he says, I have a site that I'm currently getting a syndication network built on. I have about 1 to 2 months worth of content already published on the blog using your content curation tactics. Awesome, James. I'll +1 that. Is there a way to get these already published posts sent through the syndication network? Thanks in advance for the awesome advice. We have the premium plugin syndication plugin RSS, excuse me, the premium Semantic Mastery RSS plugin will do that. I think you got to be in the mastermind to get that though. However, there is this one. Let's see, republish old posts, WordPress. That's what I'm going to do. Plugin. I've used this one plugin a bunch, and it works. This is it. It's just republish old posts plugin, and they have a premium version which gives you a lot more granular control. But even the free version works. The pro version is less than $10, by the way, guys. But you get like really granular control over when stuff gets reposted and all that kind of stuff for the pro version, and it's very, very inexpensive. So I highly recommend you check this one out. I'm going to drop it on the page, unless you're in the mastermind, in which case our plugin will do that. So, anybody have any other tools that they recommend for that?
No, not off the top of my head. Not off the top.
Okay. That's a, I mean, this is a great, good plugin. I've used it a bunch, guys. And it works really well because it will just republish old stuff. You can set schedules and you can have it republished, you know, every 60 days or whatever you want. So there's a lot of stuff you can do, James. Check it out. Clifton says, I have 2 local sites, one in the dental niche and the other in the elective surgery niche. Both are ranking top 5 for traffic keywords. How do I get them rented? Well, fine. I mean, fine. It seems like a pretty obvious answer to me. Find people in that industry and contact them. Show them proof that you've got sites that are ranked. You know, ranking doesn't typically. I mean, I guess it works for some people, but show that you're getting traffic and that you're getting phone calls if you can. If you've got like a tracking number on there. And guys, so when I first got into doing lead gen sites, I would just set up a voicemail. Like I'd still get a virtual number, and then I would just have it go direct to voicemail. But it would still register the calls. That way I could see the analytics, and I could show the analytics to, you know, prospects that I was trying to lease the site to or sell leads to, depending on what the engagement was with them. But being able to show traffic statistics or more importantly, opt-ins like contact requests. So, you know, web form submissions and phone calls. If you can show those, you shouldn't really have any trouble, you know, contacting interested parties. Go do a search, a Google search for the keyword plus the city and start on page 2. Anybody that's on page 2, just start contacting them. That's exactly what like the whole video lead gen system thing is about. Contacting clients or prospects, excuse me, that are on page 2 if you're selling SEO services, depending on what you're selling, really. So anybody else have an idea?
No, you nailed it on the whole, you know, anybody who's not in the top 5 is a candidate, essentially.
Yep.
So.
Yep, that's right. Okay, we're almost out of time, guys. We got about 5 minutes left. Rob says, is it better to only have 1 YouTube account per Google account in case the worst should happen and the YouTube account gets banned? Thanks, Rob. Well, I mean, no, Rob, it really depends. I mean, for example, I have dozens of channels under my main account, you know, my main account. But I don't do a lot of those channels. I don't do anything particularly spammy with. If I'm going to be doing something particularly spammy with the channel, then yeah, I recommend that you set up a separate Google profile to create that channel under. And then you can always just assign yourself your main Google profile as a manager so that you can still log in and still, you know, manage the account, manage the YouTube channel, upload videos, all that kind of stuff from your own account. But if God forbid it was to get slapped or terminated or whatever, and it was to affect the overall profile, I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I've had accounts terminated, but it didn't terminate the Google profile. I have had Google profiles terminated, don't get me wrong, but not typically if a YouTube channel gets terminated, it doesn't terminate the Google profile too. However, just to mitigate any potential risk, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're going to be doing something specifically or particularly spammy, excuse me, with a YouTube channel, then just create it under a different profile and add yourself as a manager. That way, in case it does get the hammer thrown at it, it wouldn't affect your main account because you were just a manager. It would only terminate the account, the profile, which was basically a spam account anyways. Does that make sense? So just got to keep, guys, just remember, what is your, you know, how much risk are you willing to take, really? And that's why I always recommend, I tell everybody to, you know, when you're going to be creating a bunch of syndication networks and all that stuff, just start with a fresh Gmail profile. When you're creating the accounts, you can always add yourself as a manager. Okay.
One other thing, and I'm speaking from experience, make sure you save the video somewhere else in case the ungodly should happen and everything goes out the window. You can just upload the videos to another channel.
Yeah. All right, we're almost out of time. Damon says, any thoughts on a YouTube InStream ad with just music and Kinetic Text video? I'm going to test to get attention for real estate listing home valuations. Ever tried before? No. Well, not, I mean, I've got InStream ad stuff running right now that I've only got running. It's not, I mean, it'd be nice to get some clicks and potentially some real, like, you know, leads or something out of it. But I do a lot of InStream ad stuff just to get IP, just so I can buy views directly from YouTube or from Google, essentially. So for example, I mean, I've got a lot of videos that really aren't, they're not set up for ad video. Like, they don't have a strong call to action in the very first, you know, 5 or 10 seconds and all that. But I still have them set up as InStream ads just so, but my targeting options are such that when somebody sees it, they're within a specific geographic location and they have, you know, it was either topic or affinity interest targeting. So they have a history of being interested in that topic and they're in the specific geographic location that I want the view from. I want that view to register from an IP in that area. And so I do that now. I've got, I mean, a lot of these campaigns I got running for just $1 a day, but that's one of the tricks that I use to keep my videos ranked. That I, you know, if I charge somebody $150 a month to keep a video ranked and I'm paying $1 a day in YouTube ads just to get local IP clicks and it shows the view count going up every month, then it works, right? And so I spend $30 to keep it ranked. And that's what I do. I don't, as far as, you know, actually converting those, very, very few times do I actually get any real traffic from those, but it's serving its purpose, which is to help me keep those videos ranked. If that makes sense. So any comments on that, guys?
I would just say that, you know, if there's an action that you want them to take, it might be worth spending $20 to get a professional voiceover that emphasizes your call to action to lay into that video too. A video with just music and flying text, like I said, if you're just going for views, that might work. But if you want people to take an action, then I strongly recommend you hire a professional on Fiverr to give a voiceover with a call to action.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So I never switched the link out on the event page, guys. Is that what you're telling me? Shit. Adam, you got that sorted, man?
Yeah, it's good to go.
Sorry about that.
Scott T, right above Damon Nelson's question, he's asking, he's looking for tips to rank blogs locally. And right above that, Adam posted our Local Pro launch. So Scott, highly recommended. It's half off right now. So if you want tips, there you go.
Yep. Man, guys, I'm sorry I didn't switch the link out on the event page. I got that's my fault. Oh well, you guys can all watch the replay. So
they were able to watch it on YouTube. So if anyone's watching and that happens, you can head over to YouTube or just start typing in like, what the hell are you guys doing? Put the right link on here and we'll see it.
Yeah, that was my bad. So I apologize, guys. But you can always catch the live one on the YouTube channel.
Make sure it plays. And today was the day I didn't. So there we go.
There you go. It's Adam's fault. So. All right, guys. Well, hey, Jeffrey and Tony, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, had a great time, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Guys, take care.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Syndication Academy webinar, guys, starts in like 2 minutes. So be over there. All right. See y'all.
Yeah.